Welcome to Take Two, the Rock 95 Morning Crew. It's Craig, Kat, and Brian. Found something new about my son's car.
That beautiful car?
Something new about my old son's car. It's 2005. You've seen it. It's not fun.
Well, we haven't drove it. We haven't sat
Do you want to
in
ride in it next time I bring it?
It looks okay.
Yeah, I'd love a ride.
Would you take a little spin with me?
If I sit in the back seat, will I fall out?
It's close to a Flintstone car. You can go right underneath.
We all have to help you get started.
Because, and I've talked about this before, but there's like scratches on it on either side of the car, right? So whoever drove it before was
Not a great driver.
They'll try to fit it in anywhere. It doesn't matter how narrow.
But that's almost an advantage with that car now.
Yeah.
Because you can keep doing that.
You can keep doing that. Well, I was driving to work, and the first thing now that it's cold, I'm really dreading it because I just think this is going to be a nightmare to warm up.
It's one of those. It'll be warm by the time you pull into the parking lot.
It feels like it'll never warm up, right? Like I've been late for the last couple of days at work because of this. So, because you just sit in there and just wait, and you wait, and you wait. And we have a snow brush in the trunk. That's what my wife said. And I'm like, okay, I'll get to the trunk. And I couldn't find... It's somewhere in the car, I'm sure, but I couldn't find the latch to open the trunk, so I had to do the old-fashioned key in the slot. Mm-hmm. It has one of those.
Did you have to turn the car off to do that? Oh,
yeah, I did. I totally did. Yeah, because normally you go under that where the license plate is and click a little latch and pull it up.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't have that now. That's how old it is. But I was driving down the road, and it was pitch dark, and I guess I was jimmying the doors a little bit before I got in the car and started to drive, and I had this... what I would call a violent sneeze.
Is that something that happens often?
The car door is open. And it was pretty...
The car door flung open from a sneeze.
Yeah. I'm sure if there was an alarm in the car, that would go off too.
Yeah, all of a sudden the horn honked, right?
What had happened was the light, the interior light went on. And I'm like, what the hell? That was one hell of a sneeze. It was like a hallelujah moment. And I look over and the car door is open. I'm like, wow.
And it was not open before.
Not open before at all. 100%. No.
Wow.
You ever had a violent sneeze that bad?
Oh, never.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Few have.
We decided to talk about this and ask people through the text line and through the phones if you have a car that you had to have a little bit of a trick to kind of get it going or to do something with. Because in the radio is a big one, right? The radio always seems to go first. I had a Pontiac Sunbird that you had to slap the radio around to kind of get it to work once in a while. It would just kind of...
Because it had that huge antenna off the back too, right?
That's right. Yeah.
5 feet in the air.
Yeah, exactly. We had so there's a text that came in here. I had a 1990 Oldsmobile Cutlass. Had a digital speedometer that didn't work unless you pounded the top of the dash. Had to set
ahead of its time because the digital back then is impressive.
That is ahead of its time. And so you had to set it to cruise control everywhere that they went to avoid speeding tickets. Because you just never knew, right?
I like that.
What do you have?
When I was in my early 20s, we had a K-car station wagon that we aptly named the Millennium Falcon because it didn't really start when you really needed it to.
Yeah.
And it was one of those cars that had an identity crisis, so it was supposed to be an automatic, but you had to take your foot off the gas and manually put it up through the gears. We shot a rod through the engine block twice before we finally buried that thing.
Oh, wow.
Buried it, eh?
God.
That's nice. Put it to rest.
That's right.
What's your name?
Shannon.
Shannon, thanks for the story. We got another text in here. My first car was a 13-year-old Toyota Corolla. My boyfriend and his friends fixed it up for me. It was an oldie. Whenever I would drive uphill, the cruise control would take over.
Oh.
And go to 120.
Assisted driving there a little bit.
My friends used to call it Christine from the Stephen King novel. That's a scary one. Man, is that terrifying.
That's not street legal, actually. It's not going to pass the safety.
Doesn't
Default
feel
speed 120.
What else we got? We got a text in here. I had a 1992 yellow Jeep. After a few years, I could start the vehicle and then take the key out of the ignition.
Good old Jeeps.
For whatever reason, I've heard of that before.
You've heard of that?
You take the key out. Yeah,
That's
my
nuts.
buddy had that.
That's so scary.
Yeah. I mean, and he would do it while you're driving. That's his little party trick, right? Hey, the keys are out. You're like, oh, my Lord.
Now, this person said it was very handy if you wanted to leave it running in the winter and lock it. Because we've all talked about, stolen vehicles.
It's
right?
a bonus feature.
It is a little bit of a
quite
bonus
nice.
feature. What do you have?
My first car back in 1980, Datsun B210. Anyways, I had the problem where you had to stick a pen in the butterfly to get your car started.
Stick a pen in the butterfly. What's the butterfly?
What's the butterfly? It's the most important part of your carburetor.
Oh.
You had to go in. You had to pop the hood.
Yeah, you had to lift up the hood and then you shove a pencil in between. And that worked for about a month by myself, but that didn't work anymore. So my husband would have to come out in the morning, stand there and hold it so I could start the car. And then after work, I'd have to persuade someone to come out to the parking lot to hold the pencil so I could get home.
Oh my
Now you
God.
know what it was like when the first
lasted
Ford
like
was
that
on the
for 3
road
months.
and you had to crank it.
Wow.
That was my story.
That was just a fix for it. There was never like a mechanic saying, we can look into that, or they just went, here's another pencil.
Well, I only paid $2,000 for the car, and I think I was 17.
Right.
And that's what they suggested bringing in. Oh, well, I don't have any money for that.
Yeah. Possibly the worst getaway
we
car in
continued
history.
on. We finally sold it for $500, so it all worked out.
Yeah. I wonder if
Yeah,
somebody's
so now
still
you know
driving
what
it
a
that way.
butterfly valve is.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the story.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Craig's List.
I couldn't imagine.
In the winter as well. There you go.
winter,
You think you got it bad now, Craig? Not so much.
Yes, at least I don't have to use stationery to start my car. All right, let's get to the trending topics of the week here for Craig's List. Kim Kardashian invented the nipple bra.
The nipple bra. That's what its name is, eh?
Yeah.
Nothing discreet about that.
There's nothing discreet about it, the way it looks either. It actually is a bra with nipples on it. And it's done for charity. Now, you would think it would be something like
breast
cancer, but it's not. It's climate change.
It's climate change. Okay, explain that one for us.
I'm thinking she went through a list of charities and went, that one.
Like, does this truly showcase how shallow of a person she is that she was like, you know which one I want to support with my nipple bra?
Let's stay on the celebrity topics here. We lost Matthew Perry. That was a big one this week. And I would say one of the most shocking celebrity deaths of the year.
He was 54, 50.
Yeah. I actually was going through a list because my wife was kind of debating that. She said, no, there's been more shocking deaths. The only one I could think of that would be on par as far as shock value was this year was Lisa Marie Presley. But even her profile wasn't as big because she wasn't really, as well known.
And transcends the generations. Matthew Perry does. I mean, I watched Friends with my parents.
Yes.
I was their age when Friends was out, and that's kind of where
And even Generation Z watches it now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he had such a great career with them, and to me, the backbone of the show. I thought.
And he did have his substance abuse issues, but he was an unproblematic person.
Yes, for others. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For himself, obviously.
Didn't look like he asked for a lot of help, unfortunately. But
it makes it special that they did have that reunion. What is it, 1 or 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe even during COVID, it was when that happened. But they got that in.
Glad that they got that in. Yeah. Sad loss for sure. Are you ready for a list of the rattiest cities in Canada?
No.
Of course.
All right, I'm going to go through the top 10 here. This is by Orkin. So they're a pest control company, and they do this every year. They give you the 25 worst cities in Canada that have the most rats. Barrie did not make the list.
Thank God.
When I look at the actual list of the top 25, the closest spot is the number 1, which is Toronto. You have been in Sudbury. Would you be surprised if they made the top 25?
No, it's too cold there. They all just die.
Okay,
It's
well,
great.
it made number 16
Ew!
Sudbury's in there.
They love the cold.
Anyway, one more reason why I'm glad I don't live there
And
anymore.
then my hometown, Brampton, hit number 15 on the list.
There you go. You guys are proud.
Yeah. Bring those rats here. Moncton, New Brunswick, number 10. Scarborough, Ontario, 9.
Oh, good. That's where I'm from.
There you go.
Is there a theme?
Everywhere you go, rats are sure to
yeah.
find. Ottawa is number 8. Then we go to BC for Victoria at 7. Richmond, BC is 6. Mississauga now.
Victoria's an island.
Yeah.
Those
They're
guys
just-
either swim or they're just breathing.
And they're so scared from Alberta. They're just pushed, right? Alberta's got none. We know
Really?
that.
Okay. Oh, that's right. They do.
They
Oh,
got
yeah.
rid of their rats.
How?
I don't
Pied
know.
Piper.
Oh, yeah, there you
all the
go.
way to the border. Go on, off you go.
Number 5, as I said, Mississauga. Then Kelowna, BC is number 4. Burnaby, BC is 3. And then Vancouver Number 2.
How did they get rid of their rats?
Yeah, it's a whole big story.
That's amazing.
And how come nobody's followed suit?
Right. Can we
I
all
know.
do that? Send them to the States.
They have no rats in that entire province.
Is it a secret that they just don't want to share? Is this their touring because they have
That's
nothing
how
else?
they get people there,
That's
baby.
how they.
They've got the beautiful mountains and nice,
Yeah, but no rats. That's what's bringing people in.
Come for the no rats.
Yeah.
Stay for the mountains.
Listen to Craig, Kat, and Brian, the Rock 95 Morning Crew. Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on Barrie's Rock Station, Rock 95.